What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. It's time for another retro review, and it's time to talk about WCW Bash at the Beach 1994. The first pay-per-view of the Hulk Hogan era, and straight out the gate they're giving us Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair. The match everyone had been talking about, expecting at WrestleMania 8. The match everyone had been talking, the dream match everyone had been talking about during the 80s. Hulk Hogan, the champion of WWF. Ric Flair, the champion of the NWA and then WCW. Finally, the two collide in WCW for the WCW Championship. And in my opinion, to be honest with you, this was actually a decent match. One of Hulk Hogan's better matches. We'll get to that in a bit. The whole card itself was actually pretty decent. It wasn't a bad match on the show. I enjoyed every single one. Steven Regal versus Johnny B. Bad. What's not to love for the WCW Television Championship? Regal, phenomenal. Every show I've gone back and watched in these retro reviews, Steven Regal's knocked it out of the park so far. Not a bad match. Most of the time he has the best match on the show. Always getting 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, without a doubt. Always. You're guaranteed to have a good match if you're putting him on your card. And this was very good. Another good one with Johnny B. Bad, who was really underrated in my opinion, who goes on to become Mark Merrow. Very entertaining character, decent in the ring. What's not to love? Vader versus the Guardian Angel. Finally they had to change their name. Cease and desist order must have been sent out there by Vince McMahon. Boss Man no more. Guardian Angel, not a great name change, but it was what it was. The match was good. Two of the best big men of all time going at it. I haven't minded this feud. It's been okay. A DQ in this one. Guardian Angel was caught with the nice stick. Didn't actually use it. But Vader gets the win. They tricked the referee into DQing him. Funk versus and Bunkhouse Buck versus Dustin Rhodes and Arn Anderson. Terry Funk jumps over from ECW to WCW. We see a couple go over the other way. There's talent trades at this time between the two companies. And we know what goes down there. This was okay. Probably my least favourite match on this show. Dustin Rhodes very good at this time. Very underrated. Would have liked to see him do more at this time with WCW. They're really not using him to the best of his abilities, in my opinion. He's been pushed down the card now. He was moving up. It looked like he was moving up towards maybe a world title shot, but no. Now he's being moved back down into tag team matches. He gets screwed over by Arn Anderson, his tag team partner. You can see it coming a mile off. And yeah, he turns on him and they all beat the shit out of him. Steve Austin versus Ricky Steamboat. Not only was this the best match of the show, probably the best match of '94. Right up there. Right up there with, I don't know, Owen and Bret Hart at WrestleMania. This was that fucking good. By a mile the best match on this show. By a mile. How they could not see Steve Austin was the number one star and the person they should be putting the whole company behind him, building the company around, I don't know. Phenomenal match against Ricky Steamboat. Gets the win here. Yeah, some dubious tactics from Steve Austin, but they've moved him around. They've done so much with him to try and stop him becoming a star, and they still can't stop him. He's so fucking good. You just can't stop talent. You can't. In the end, he becomes the star he always knew he could be and should be. Even Pretty Wonderful versus Cactus Jack and Kevin Sullivan wasn't a bad tag match. I've seen a lot worse. Even though I'm not a big fan of Kevin Sullivan, never was. Paul Roma and Paul Orndorff were okay. Cactus Jack, phenomenal. Always is. It went 20 minutes and it was a good tag match. Then you get the main event, Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. If you take away all the outside interference from Sherry, Jimmy Hart, Mr. T, Shaquille O'Neal, there were loads of them around there. If you got rid of all of them, and forgot about them, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan actually had a really good match. Probably more due to Ric Flair carrying Hulk Hogan for the majority. This was really good. One of Hulk Hogan's best matches of all time, in my opinion. At this time, it wasn't a great Hulk Hogan. He wasn't at his best either. He was winding down. He'd had his day. And Ric Flair carried him to a very good match. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Yeah, you knew who was winning. You knew Flair was dropping the title here. But overall, it wasn't a bad match. This wasn't a bad show. Like I said, all the matches on the show were pretty decent. Not a bad match on this show. Let me know what you think down below. And I'll be back again soon for another retro review. See you next time.